Well, Russia recently announced 40 new ballistic missiles to boost its military arsenal. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg called the move unjustified, destabilizing and dangerous. Now, in light of this American nuclear rearmament we're talking about, do you think it's unjustified?
I think it's unjustified from a technical point of view. From a political point of view, I have no real judgment, but I can see how the political leadership in Russia believes that it has to respond to what it sees as American continued encroachment and planning to intimidate. You know, whether that's the intent of the United States or not, I have no way of knowing. But I can understand why they think that such an action makes sense. From a purely technical point of view, it in no way enhances Russia's security, and it could detract from it because of an American overreaction.
Also, remember NATO's plans for a missile defense shield in Europe, where they were also supported by the U.S. and its allies. It was supposed to be a protection against a possible Iran nuclear program. Now, a deal with Iran is in place, a deal that, as you say, has unprecedented verification measures. Why is NATO still going forward with these plans?
I'm not a I'm more of a technical than a political person, but I don't want to make fake claims that I am unsophisticated politically.
Sure, but you surely have your opinions and observations on that. I mean, it's a huge topic that we're all discussing.
I think it's going forward because the leadership of the United States has domestic, again, I want to underscore domestic political, not international, political commitments to doing missile defense. The Congress is deeply committed to it. I think the big defense companies that do the work want to keep their contracts, and the American Congress is strongly influenced by the ability of these companies to influence elections through their money. I think the president has not behaved has not shown leadership in this particular area. He has backed away from his original skepticism, which was well justified, about the value of these missile defenses in terms of their technical capability. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, but as you say, you know, the domestic policies usually play out internally. They play out to be foreign policies. In this case, does Russia have evidence to believe it's not a security threat for it?
I would say that the Russian military, the informed military, the technically well-informed military, have to understand that the American missile defense is not viable. That is to say, it does not have any capability. However, I want to underscore, however, they cannot treat this missile defense as if it has no capability. This is because they do not know what will happen next. The United States has vast industrial power, vast wealth, has shown that it is more than able to engage in irrational military activities, and the Russian military cannot be assured that the United States won't make some kinds of changes in some unforeseen future scenario to this missile defense. So you can have a missile defense like the Americans have, which technically speaking is a joke. I want to underscore, it's a technical joke in terms of what it can do. But the Russian military has almost no choice but to treat this as if it's a serious concern. So you get the worst of both worlds, even from the American point of view. A missile defense that doesn't work, but is treated by the Russian side as if it works.
Ted, we just have time for one more question.
Convoluted?
No, it sounds pretty simple to me. I don't know why people up there don't understand it.
Okay.
Now, states that embark on a nuclear weapons program...
You'd be amazed what they don't understand. I'm sorry.
Listen, so states that embark on a nuclear weapons program, they actually do it because they feel it's the only way to ensure their security. Can you say they're wrong? I mean, look at Libya. It gave up its nuclear weapons, and in the end, there was little to stop a NATO bombing campaign in 2011. We just have 1 more minute left for this question.
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword, and it depends on who you are and your circumstance. Unfortunately, and I'm not comfortable saying this, I want to be clear, this is not a comfortable thing to say. If I were in the situation of some nuclear states, I would not give up my nuclear weapons. In the case of other nuclear states, I think not only is it a good idea to give up your nuclear weapons, but in fact, you shouldn't get them. Let me give you an example. If I were Japanese, I would not want to have nuclear weapons. The reason is I'm under the protection of the United States, and if I get nuclear weapons, it will cause me to be a target of the Chinese. It will cause the South Koreans to become extremely concerned to the point that they might react in a bad way, and my overall security situation will be worse. But if I'm alone and I think I need nuclear weapons, for example, if I'm Russia and the Americans have a nuclear monopoly, I would want nuclear weapons because I'm not dependent on another nuclear power to offset the American threat. So it's a political judgment, not a technical one.
Thanks, Ted.